Welcome to my cbse English teacher. Today let's learn the poem A Roadside Stand by Robert Frost from class 12 Flamingo. If you're watching my channel for the first time, do subscribe. You can listen to all the lessons and watch videos pertaining to classes 10, 11 and 12. Do subscribe and click the notification button so that you get notified whenever I upload a video. About the poet. Robert Frost was an American poet. His work is known for his realistic depictions of rural life and his command of American colloquial speech. Frost was honored frequently during his lifetime and is the only poet to receive 4 Pulitzer Prizes for poetry. Here is the theme of the poem. The main theme of A Roadside Stand is that the poet is contrasting the lives of people who live in cities and those who live in the countryside. The rich people from the city don't pay any attention to the roadside stands. Introduction. In this poem, the poet highlights the plight of the deprived villagers who are working for some money to lead a better life. The poet is also very critical of the way the city folks treat these villagers who are selling their locally produced goods and plying past them without a sense of empathy. Here is a summary of the poem. The occupants of the little old house have extended the shed in front around the edge of the road where traffic passes by. Though it would be unfair to state that the shack owners wanted a charity of bread, but nevertheless they seem to implore the passers-by to stop and buy something from their shack. These deprived people long for the feel of the currency, the circulation of which flourishes the city folk. But unfortunately, the refined traffic whizzed past unmindful of the shack, or, if any stopped, it would be with a feeling of reproach at this blot on the picturesque landscape. They are very perturbed to see the unimpressive and toppled up signboards. The shack offered for sale wild berries in a wooden quart. The local produce is highlighted with the usage of words like crook-necked, squash with silver warts due to no quality. The place also offered a blissful way in the lap of nature for the ones who had money. Angry at the callous attitude of the so-called polished traffic, the poet commands them to move ahead, oblivious of the roadside stand. The poet's concern is not about the blemish on the landscape, but regarding the unvented sorrow of the shed owners. Expressing the viewpoint of these people, the poet converts their ardent desire to handle some city money which may perhaps alleviate their sufferings as sometimes promised in movies. The political party in power actually deprive them of a prosperous life. The poet quotes the news which highlights the evacuation and relocation of the poor villagers to the vicinity of the theatres and the shops. Tall promises have been made to take good care of them. Outraged at the negligent attitude of the civic authorities, government, and even social service agencies, the poet addresses them as greedy good doers, apparently benefactors but actually beasts of prey who exploit the innocent village folk by giving them a short-term sense of security. The villagers are not being helped but harmed. They pay a heavy price by losing their land. These developers, civic authorities, with a calculative strategy, soothe and befool the unalloyed hearts and minds of these villagers. By ensuring them a better life and hence good sleep, they actually sleep peacefully themselves and destroy their slumber with anxiety. In the ancient way, people used to work during day and sleep in nights, which has been reversed here where they are not able to sleep at night because they haven't worked in the day. The poet is distressed to note the interminable wait on the part of the shed owners for their prospective buyers. He calls it almost a childish longing in vain. The shop window is blanketed with an ambience of sadness that surrounds expectancy. It seems these people yearn for the sound of the car brakes near the shack. One of the selfish cars that passed by the shed has perhaps halted to inquire the farmer's price, while the other just wanted to use the backyard to turn. It is indeed a satire that one of the occupants of the car stops at the shed to get a gallon of gas. It highlights a sense of alienation that exists between the rural and urban life. Unaware of the village's plights and engrossed with the pleasure of the material world, these people are unable to gauge the glaring difference in the city and rural life. The poet regrets that the yardstick of gain invested in money isn't found in the countryside at all. Money, he feels, elevates spirits, and the lack of it dampens the villagers' perspective towards life. They tend to express their grievance about a life bereft of money. At this point of time, the poet is overwhelmed with emotions and contemplates their pain at one go by changing their lives. But a later logical thought and a poised state of mind tells him the futility of his rash act. It might compel him to seek purgation of pain from others for his thoughtless decision. Here are the poetic devices used in the poem: transferred epithet, polished traffic, and selfish cars. Personification, the sadness that lurks behind the open window there. Alliteration and oxymoron, greedy good doers, beneficent beasts of prey. Question and answers. Question number 1. Why is it unfair to say that these people are begging for a dole of bread? Answer. One may think that the poor people at the roadside stand are beggars, but they are not. Unlike the beggars who beg unconditionally, shamelessly, and sometimes unreasonably, the people of the roadside stand have something to sell, some information to share, and a noble reason behind their begging. Question number 2. What are the usual complaints made by the city men when they stop at the roadside stand? Answer. The rich people to and from the cities usually have the same sets of complaints. Having failed to see the wretchedness of the poor, they complain that the roadside stand with its artless paint ruin the beauty of nature. Another complaint is that the letters are wrongly written. Question number 3. What is childish longing? Why is it in vain? Answer. The poor people's uncertain and futile expectation for the city money is the childish longing. It is in vain as the rich city people do not have the generosity to help them. Children long to achieve things beyond their reach but never get them. The poor people's expectation that the rich people would give them money is their childish longing. It is in vain because the hard-hearted people never give them a penny. I hope you liked this video. For more interesting videos, do subscribe to my CBSE English teacher. Like, share and give your valuable comments. Thank you for watching.